Hello everyone and welcome to the 2018 Best of Power Rangers. That is right, last week we went over the worst things that happened in your world of Power Rangers. So let's put all that negativity behind us. We have the best. This is the video, guys. If you just want to be hyped, if you just want to smile, if you just want to look back and go, man, we had some good stuff happen this year, this is the video for you. So many great things. I've got the 5 best things that happen in Power Rangers, but we also have some honorable mentions, and this year I'm adding in the best moment in Power Rangers. Thank you so much to everybody who was on like Twitter and social media who helped vote for these. Now, while you guys voted kind of along the lines of what I was thinking, these are of course my personal top favorites, but thank you so much for participating online and voting, and I hope you guys are excited to see what I came up with for you for the video. We ready? Alright, let's just get to it, guys. We're going to start off with number 5, 5th best thing that happened in Power Rangers this year, and it is, spoiler alert, it's the thing that happened on the worst of also, and that is Power Morphicon. Oh my gosh, it was tough, really. The top 5, even some of these honorable mentions, you could personally tell me the Power Morphicon was the best thing that happened this year. I wouldn't argue with you. Everybody has their own favorites, but for me, this guy had to make the top 5 list somewhere. Bringing together Power Ranger fans from around the world. Bringing together Power Rangers from seasons across the 25 years. Doing amazing things, the panels, it was just an amazing experience. For me personally, getting to meet like friends that I've made on Twitter, I've been talking to people on Twitter for 4 or so years, to finally get to meet them, it meant the world to me, to be able to meet you guys. How lucky am I? I'm running from point A to point B on the floor and I hear someone yell, "Hey, it's Ranger Liz." I don't know if I ever really did a PMC wrap-up video to fully express how much that meant to me, that you guys enjoy what I do, and it just, wow, between buying way too much merch, spending too much money on meeting people, it was an absolutely amazing time. The cosplays, PMC, you are number 5. I could ramble for a very long time about any of these topics, but we've got to get things moving. Let's get to 2 honorable mentions really quick. One of them, the 25th anniversary team up, the Dimensions in Danger. We got a team up episode. Again, guys, with a bunch of past Rangers. I absolutely loved it. You have to get an honorable mention, as well as Heroes of the Grid. Fully funded, a great game. Didn't quite crack the top 5 because it's not really coming out until next year. Look for it on the 2019 list. Oh, I'm so excited for it. So 25th anniversary team up and Heroes of the Grid, thank you for making your 2018 awesome. You didn't quite make the list though. We're going to go to number 4, and that was, where were you when Beast Morphers was announced? Oh my goodness, mind blown. I was at home. You get the thing, and it says Beast Morphers, and you go, wait, because remember, before we knew it was going to be Go Busters, we weren't sure. It could have been Zyuohger. It could have been Animal Morpher. It could have been the animal suits. We weren't sure for a very brief moment, and then we find out it's tech, and it was Go Busters. Why is the fact that the show hasn't even came out yet, but why is it number 4 on my list of best things that happened in 2018? Because it gave us so much hope and life and hype. When we found out it was going to be Beast Morphers, remember this was before the Hasbro stuff, only by a few days. It was a crazy bit in February or March or whenever it was, but we had to think, if they're doing Beast Morphers, if they're reusing that old Go Buster footage, they have to be very confident in the story, in the toys, in what they're going to tell with it. To go back to old footage, remember, Go Busters, in theory, it aired the year after Go Kaiser, which was the Super Mega Force. So think, Super Mega Force footage was already dated just a little bit by the time we got it. We are going to the season after that. Wow, they have to have the faith in it. We have to have faith in them, I guess. And when that happened, when it was announced that it was Go Busters, our minds were collectively blown. We were super excited, and it just brought up everything for the year, for the hype. And now we're counting down, well, once we find out the actual date, we're counting down the days, guys. We could be seeing brand new Go Beast Morphers in 2 months. I'm hyped, and I hope you are too, because that was my number 4 best thing that happened this year in Power Rangers. Let's get moving on to number 3 in the list, and I make my 3s maybe a little stranger than you do. But let's move on to number 3. You ready? You ready? Haven't done this in a while. Hyperforce! That's probably bad. I'm just gonna leave that in because Hyperforce. How, guys, you know me in Hyperforce. How did Hyperforce only get number 3? Oh, because this year's been so amazing. Hyperforce. Hyperforce changed, to me at least, changed what we thought was possible with Power Rangers. Flat out. These people at Hyper RPG and Jason and Melissa and everyone who from Saban helped make it happen, Hasbro, now with Hasbro, they gave us something so different that felt so personal. You feel like it's this little thing and it's just yours and for some close friends, even though there were thousands of people watching it. We got Peter and Yoshi also got to play as brothers before they actually got to be brothers in it. We got to meet amazing people like Christina V and Strawberry 17 who came to this fandom, you know, you weren't really sure who they were. And now I'm like, Chloe's one of my favorite Pink Rangers. Vesper, oh my gosh, as crazy as she was, she made you fall in love with them. Black Nerd Andre, we kind of knew him before because he likes Power Ranger stuff, but he got to be a Ranger. How crazy is that? He got to be the Ranger that was nerdy and nerded out about other Rangers. He was our guy, guys, from Go Kaiser. He kind of just was us going, oh, you're this Ranger, and oh, that's Zordon, oh my god, I can't believe we had guest stars come back. Karen Ashley. I'm coming to say Jen Scotts came back more than once. Jason David Frank was there. We had, I'm sorry I'm gonna forget all of her names, Christopher Kevin Lee and Mike Chen. And I'm completely blanking on Erin Cahill, her name. So many great Rangers came back and just gave us this amazing, amazing story. And guys, this is a spoiler alert, but it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. They didn't win. When it ended, everyone's like, did Hyperforce Season 2 or we riot? That's kind of what I think. We still haven't set up the riot. I know, we're pending on working on it, but Hyperforce was absolutely amazing, and the fact that, I mean, there was a panel, and for the people who loved it, we gotta go, like Malika and stuff, they went over to the Starbucks after the panel, and you gotta hang out and interact with them. It was, Hyperforce was the season for me. This was my season of Power Rangers. I loved it so much. I need to just start re-watching it again. We had just Bulk, man, Jack, Paul is finally a Ranger, for reals, and not that, you know, the, like, Burgersaurus and stuff from way back in, like, Season 1 or 2. He's a legit Ranger. They're in the comics now. Hyperforce let these Rangers tell their own story in real time, letting the dice decide for some things, and there they are. They're in our comics, they're canon in and of itself, and if you ever try to argue that they're not real, I will fight you. Yeah, but I might, actually. I love Hyperforce. It was amazing. It was amazing between Marv and Joe, Jack, Eddie, Vesper, and Chloe. Those guys made a world with Malika being so many voices. Zach stepping in and doing so many other characters. My 2018 would have been far, far worse if it wasn't for Hyperforce. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Hyper RPG. Thank you to everybody who made it possible. And if you haven't noticed Gen Hyper RPG is actually kind of not in a great spot right now. Just some life stuff that I'm not going to cover in this, but if you are at all interested in it or want to go give him some love, please, please do. Send him from Ranger Liz. Send it from your heart. Hyper RPG could use it. Thank you for Hyperforce. From the bottom of my heart, you got me through some rough weeks, and thank you. Thank you for that. Woo, can we top? Oh my gosh, get a little woo. Can we top Hyperforce? Yes, because we still have 2 more things to cover on this list. Before I get to number 2, I'm going to mention the last honorable mention, let's say, and that is, it was really hard to not include this in my top 5, guys. Shattered Grid Live. Shattered Grid Live was a panel, it was a live reading of Shattered Grid that happened at Power Morphicon. It was about an hour long. It was just bonkers. Can you even list all of them that happened? Jason Font read as Tommy. You had Strawberry 17 Megan was Kim. People acting actually as themselves. You had Jen Scott. You had Rita. You had Zordon. You had just, I can't even, you know what? I'm not even going to try to list everyone. Just there was a billion people there. Go watch it. If you haven't watched Shattered Grid live reading, you find it. It's on YouTube. You won't regret watching it if you're a fan of Shattered Grid. Woo, it was so good. It was so good. But because Shattered Grid Live is my honorable mention, number 2, guys, this probably was my number 1, but it got edged out in the end. Number 2, guys, the second best thing that happened in your world of Power Rangers in 2018. You can't even pretend it wasn't going to be one of the top 2. Shattered freaking Grid. Oh my gosh, I know all of you comic people are freaking out right now. Shattered Grid was freaking awesome. They killed Tommy. I mean, like, come on, at this point you already know, but what Hyperforce did to just the brand in general, thinking of characters going forward and storytelling, Shattered Grid ridiculously changed what we thought they would be able to do in the comics. Because the comics are doing so well, it's, here you go, here's your team. When Draken knocked off Tommy, the collective Ranger world gasped. It was making headlines a bunch of places. This was the kind of thing that made people who don't necessarily watch Power Rangers anymore, who don't necessarily care about Power Ranger news, who may not even like comics, but they were finding out what Shattered Grid was and being introduced to this brand from the amazing, amazing creative people over at Boom Studios. Kyle, Ryan, the artists, the people who are their directors and editors, they gave us this ridiculous story. Now, we had been kind of teased, you know, like we knew, okay, this is happening because it's part of the 25th anniversary. None of us, I think, had quite a scale as to what this was going to happen. Rangers, they brought Rangers in from different generations. So this isn't like Rangers, old Rangers past come in. You have Teenage Jason with Teenage Lauren Sheba. You have Dark Ranger, who's Heckle, coming in from who knows what era he is from, not trying to interact with the other Dino Charge Rangers because they'll still think he's evil. There were plot lines. There was trying to figure out of, wait, this happened when, and wait, and Draken's getting new forms. It blew your mind. Rangers died, worlds were shattering, and Draken won? I mean, no, the Rangers did win, but we don't actually know how the story ended. Much like Hyperforce when Chloe, spoiler, but Chloe's dad, like, he kind of got what he wanted, and the Rangers are just left there going, oh. The Rangers won at the end of Shattered Grid, but they left it in such a way that I'm already like, bring me back. But then we have Beyond the Grid going on right now, which is great. It's a continuation. Beyond the Grid, if you're only interested in Shattered Grid, it's taking some of those Rangers that didn't make the fix, I guess. We don't even know how they're there. There are so many questions. I love it. There's a bajillion questions still. Things that they started back in May or whenever the first issue was, I can't believe it. It led into so many amazing things. It led into Shattered Grid Live. It led into some amazing cosplays. We were introduced to Ranger Slayer. Ranger Slayer's outfit, fire! I love Ranger Slayer's outfit. The mini forms of Lord Draken. We met Finster 5. We met the coinless again in such an amazing way. And my God, I love Skull. I love you. I love you, buddy. Bulk and Skull, so much better. I could go on forever about how Shattered Grid was just such an amazing thing. But it unfortunately didn't make number 1. Shattered Grid got number 2. Before I get to number 1 though, I gotta mention the best moment in Power Rangers in 2018. I had this, there were a lot of really awesome just moments that have happened. The moments, I could have said the moment when you found out it was Beast Morphers, the moment when you found out about other things, but here's some moments that maybe got you going, what, this year in Power Rangers. 1, the Team Up 25th anniversary morph. That moment, the explosions, the morphin' time, seeing Cat with her, like, come on, really? And there were just so many, there were some great morphs. Thank you so much to everybody who came back to that episode. It was fantastic. But when that happened, just chills. Absolutely everywhere. I've got 4 best moments. So that was number 4. Number 3, Beast Morphers cast walking out onto the stage for the first time, being announced after the Super Ninja Steel panel. They said their names, they walked out in their suits, and that's when we learned who our cast was. And I gotta tell you, just there are so many of people, so many of my friends that were like, wow, like the diversity in the cast already. The suits look great. These guys look like Rangers. And if you don't follow them on social media, you really need to. They are a blast to follow. They are already just getting to be a family. They do a lot more on Instagram than Twitter. So check Instagram if you want to get all of them. But those guys coming out, definitely number 3. Number 2, this one, Hyperforce, guys. What was the best moment, I guess you could say, in Hyperforce? Remember that time when nobody in the cast except maybe Malika and Yoshi knew he was going to show up? That is right, the moment I'm talking about from Hyperforce is the time when all of the characters were looking up our 5 Rangers. Everybody's okay, looking, doing their stats and stuff, and a chair pulls up. The Rangers are focused, they're doing their story. None of them see that Mr. Yoshi Sudarso is taking up a chair and basically saying, hey guys, I'm Joe. Freaked out everyone. I mean, it was the thing that we said, you gotta get Yoshi on. You gotta get Yoshi on for at least an episode, and everybody wanted it anyway. It's kind of like saying for the team up for the Christmas episode. Was it fan service? Yeah, maybe, but it was amazing. And you know what? It turned out great. Them interacting with each other, the seriousness of it. Yoshi coming out, absolutely one of the best moments in Power Rangers in 2018. Leading me to my best moment, my one individual moment. And if I meet this man again, which I really hope I will, I need to like print out a certificate or something. Set the stage. Shattered Grid. Shattered Grid Live. There's probably 20 people with Power Rangers involved in it. Walter Jones, reading as himself. Bulk, reading as himself. Skull, reading as himself. So many people. But they had a system set up to do, so they had the lighting, they had the mood, they had the background stuff. But Mr. Ron Wasserman helped out, and due to it, he brought some fun electronic things. You guys know where I'm going with this. The moment in the Shattered Grid live reading when Zordon finally spoke. It was in the exact Zordon voice that you would have heard when you were 7 years old watching Power Rangers for the first time. Zordon urging, begging, requesting Rangers from every time and every dimension, warning them about Lord Draken. Protect your Morphers, protect your Rangers, protect your world, and if you can, come help us, Rangers. We need help. Hearing him, I have chills right now just remembering him saying this in the Zordon voice. Absolutely. That was probably the moment that I lost my crap more than anything else. Thank you, David Fielding. Didn't skip a beat. Thank you to David Fielding, thank you to Shattered Life, thank you to Ron Wasserman, thank you to Kyle Higgins for the amazing story and for putting together that whole thing. But guys, all of you together, and it was voted by far, from you guys the fans also, the best moment in Power Rangers this year. Zordon summoning the Rangers, Shattered Grid Live, Power Morphicon 2018. Woo, buddy, you might have even thought that was my best thing that happened, but you know what it is. You know what it is. Let me get this because we have to talk about number one. We've talked about Power Morphicon, Beast Morphers, Hyperforce, Shattered Grid. Guys, what was the best thing to happen in Power Rangers 2018? You know it, I know it, the American people know it. Hasbro! Hasbro is our new overlords. We were taken over, forcibly, not forcibly, probably peacefully, I don't really know, but Hasbro now owns Power Rangers. They purchased, first off, they got the toy, they got the rights to make the toys for Beast Morphers and for Power Rangers going forward, and then we found out they just bought the brand. That is right, Hasbro now runs everything, and we are already seeing a great, like their Twitter account, their social media is already really cranked up. We already are seeing things that they're talking about, movies going forward. We're starting to see toys being listed, well, not being listed, but the Lightning Collection, the Play School Heroes. We're already starting to get a taste of what they're gonna make, the figures that they're gonna have come out with. They showed us at Power Morphicon the Lightning line. The paint, the details, the attention to details in the paint. The paint, guys! They're painted! I'm not a person who can paint figures, so to me, like, they need to be pretty painted when I get them. They're changing Power Rangers as we know it, but I think instead of everybody being kind of nervous, not knowing where this is going, people are very, very excited. Hasbro knows what they're doing. Have you guys heard of a franchise called Transformers? Have you ever bought a Star Wars toy? These people know how to make transforming robots, okay? They know how to make lines with hundreds and hundreds of figures. They know how to make a franchise and cater it to different ages. I mean, you can have a 3-year-old Star Wars product. You can have a 30-year-old with lots of money Star Wars things. And the fact that they can easily put Power Rangers in this thing, you can have Play School Heroes. I'm going to be able to get very age-appropriate toys for my daughter, and I can get very age-appropriate toys for the mother. And I'm thinking of more collectible things that are going to be coming out. I don't even want to know how much money we're going to be spending. The creative vision going forward towards Beast Morphers is going to be really helpful. I think the show itself, we probably need to give them a year for them to get their full creative footprint in it, just like the change between the Saban and Disney eras. But they have the money, they have the influence, they have everything they need to be able to take Power Rangers into a completely different level. Maybe get them in different stores, get them with different marketing things. I'm excited. I want a Power Rangers. I want a Red Ranger Mr. Potato Head. Because they can do that now. Yeah, there's about worrying with like partnerships and how with Bandai America, Hasbro owns a ton. If you guys haven't checked out, look at what they own. They have a lot of stuff. My Little Pony. If you're of adults and teenager stuff like My Little Pony, a show made for kids, guess what? They have Power Rangers now. Power Rangers My Little Pony crossover. Okay, I'm not ready for that one. I'm not ready for that one. It's just merch in general. It's anything you think about Power Rangers, it can be different next year. And it's the hope, I don't want to say it's the hope that kills us, but it's the hope that's going to keep us going into 2019, because the way things were going, this is not a big surprise. People were not happy with how Power Rangers was going, and with the movie not going well. This is it, guys. Hasbro has it. Hasbro is planning on movies. Hasbro immediately, I'm sure, has toy lines and everything set up. This is, I'm telling you, if I have to start the worst of 2019 with Hasbro buying the brand, that might be it. I might just stop the channel. If it gets that bad. Hasbro, thank you. I welcome you as my new Power Ranger Overlord. I'm available for partnering. Totally gonna leave this one in, guys. I think the theme for this is almost Power Rangers as we know it has changed. Or at least Power Rangers what we thought was possible has changed. We got a tabletop RPG game where they lost. We had Shattered Grid, where Tommy died. There were often Rangers left and right, and we're still left in a wondering of how they're going to remake this world with people lost beyond the grid. PMC brought so many amazing people together for experiences I will never ever forget. Beast Morphers is giving us so much hope for the future that they have to know what they're doing, because why would they go back to use that footage? And of course, Hasbro taking over. We are all so optimistic with what the future can hold. Don't forget those best moments. I mean, Yoshi in Hyperforce, the Dimensions in Danger team up in Morph and Shattered Grid live, and it was an absolutely amazing year. And these were the best parts of it. If you want to know what was worse, don't forget to watch the Worst of Power Rangers 2018 that I already have up. And stay tuned, guys, because you know I'm going to be posting the Ranger Year in review. Imagine all this with the hype, except I have to cover everything that wasn't good and everything in between also. It's going to be a good show, and I'm really looking forward to recording it. But this is where I will bid you adieu for the best of Power Rangers 2018. Thank you for watching this as long as it was. My name is Ranger Liz. Follow me on any and all social medias. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell if you don't want to miss when I post a new video. Whew, the year's almost done, and it's been a year I will never ever forget. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you, Power Rangers. And this was definitely the best. I'll see you at the next video, guys. Toodles. Woo. What is Zoojer?